I'm here with Divya from Awaken the Inner Goddess. And Divya, you help people find their passion and purpose in life, which is such a fantastic thing to be doing.
Yeah, it's absolutely rewarding. Love it, love it. You know, as you know, I came from a corporate background.
Yes.
And definitely don't want to do that anymore.
Well, people may not know that I came from a very corporate background too, like banking and finance, that type of thing. So it's difficult when you're a creative sort of spiritual person and you're in an environment that's anything but that.
Yeah, and I think that drains you, doesn't it?
Yeah,
It's
it's exhausting just being there, and sometimes the energies of the people that you're with is so draining too.
Yeah, because they don't want to be there either. You know, most of the time, I think because it becomes like such a routine for everybody.
Yeah.
It's just, okay, I've got to go there, do this. I know what I'm going to do for my 8 hours in a day, and then I come back and enjoy life. But we never really get around to enjoying life.
No.
It just becomes that routine day in, day out, and then we wait for the weekend, and we have 2 days, and it just goes by like that. And we're like, oh, it's Monday again. You know, it's Monday-itis. How am I going to get up? How am I going to go? And the routine starts again.
Yeah.
You know, so I always say, you know, that we are human beings.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, we really got to be and not do. We're not human doing.
Yeah.
You know? So we've really got to touch base with why we're here, what's our true purpose, and align with that. And until we do that, we're never really going to be ultimately happy. You know?
So how does somebody in that corporate environment, how do they reconnect with, you know, who they are and what their purpose is? Because I think we're also talking about this, the way that the Western civilization has set up the workplace. It's very masculine. It's very about going out there and I'm going to beat this guy, and it's all competition, and I need to climb my way up to the top of the ladder, and I don't care who I'm stabbing in the back as I'm going. And, you know, when I was working in that world, I would say, you know, maybe 30% of the time I'm actually doing my job. The other 70% of the time I'm just kind of fielding politics and fighting people off, and it becomes exhausting from that perspective, that you want to get fulfillment from doing something, but there's so much politics happening.
Yeah, and I think it comes down to two things. One, are you really doing what you're enjoying? Is it really your passion? If it's not, maybe it's time to reassess.
Yes.
You know, what do I really need to be doing? And for a lot of people struggle with that.
Yeah.
They don't know, how do I find my passion? And people think it's about, oh, it's got to be something I absolutely love, or it's got to be something that I'm good at. But it's actually a combination of everything. You know, it's your skills, it's your talent, but it's also what you love doing, just enjoy doing on the side.
Yeah.
You know, you don't have to have you know, I'm good at dancing, or I'm good at singing, so that means I've got to be a dancer or a singer. You can always do that on the side, as long as you still get your spiritual feel from that, you know, and you can go back to the corporate world and know that you're doing that on the side, or that's your side business, really.
Yeah.
So it's really about following what you want to do. But if you're actually there and you're not enjoying it as it is, and you know what it's like as well as I do, I think it's about aligning with, so I always say there's two different purposes that we have. There's your outer purpose and your inner purpose. And your inner purpose is your spiritual purpose. Yeah. Why am I here? Why do I want to wake up in the morning? Well, it's like, I say it's like a homing pigeon.
Yep.
You know, or bees to a hive, or whatever it is, you know, you never really lose your way. And when you come into this world, you know what your purpose is, and that in your soul is guiding you to that purpose. So ultimately, our journey here is really about finding out why you're here and what you're here to fulfill as part of your soul's journey. So it's about discovering that. But at the same time, in the corporate world, you've got your outer purpose.
Yep.
You know, you've got to make sure that you align with all of that, and make sure that everything that you do in your daily basis meets up to the standards and the expectations everyone else has too. So it's not just your own. So it's making sure that you align your outer purpose and your inner purpose so that you're going in the same direction.
I think that's a really good way of putting it, because I think what happens to a lot of people in that corporate world environment, you end up changing jobs. And I know for myself, I'd change jobs and I think, oh, it's going to be better somewhere else. And you know, every time I change job, I would think, oh, this is going to be better. And once again, as women, we always think, oh, I'll meet new friends and make new connections and all of that. But at the end of the day, if you're still kind of unhappy in your soul space, that's when I think the signal is that perhaps that isn't what you're supposed to be doing. You need to go and find what it is that gives you that fulfillment.
Right, and I think the reason that people struggle is they think they've got to leave that job.
Yeah.
They don't always have to leave the job. the idea is find a compelling enough reason to be where you are. And what I mean by that is, let's say for me, I was doing IT, right? But my job was really about, because I'm about love and connection, really connecting with people and really seeing what they want and need and trying to serve them. And so it's about, I took that on with my clients in my role. You know, it wasn't about IT. Yes, it was around the systems and all of that. But
Yes.
it was really about finding out what the clients needed and making sure that I listened, where I find a lot of big corporate companies don't always do that. And so it was about finding what they wanted and serving them to the best of my ability. And I loved that.
Yeah.
When I saw it in that way, I actually enjoyed doing what I did. You know,
Yes.
Obviously there are times when you're not 100% happy, but that's what life is about. You
Yeah.
go through trials and tribulations. You have errors and you learn
Yeah,
from your
absolutely.
failures. And it's meant for you to grow. And if you're not growing, you're dying. You know, so you've got to go through that journey.
Yeah.
So it's not always about just getting rid of what you're doing right now and switching to something
No,
completely, you know, different.
exactly. It's about.
But I mean, that's also an option if you're really struggling.
Yes. Well, for me, I was. I must admit.
And I think I was too.
Yeah.
You know, it wasn't something that I really wanted to be doing anymore. I didn't align with it anymore.
Yeah.
And I still love serving clients, but in a very different way, in a more personal way.
And that's what I was going to get onto. So now you actually see people personally. You're like a life coach to help people through this, and you also do like workshops and things like that.
Right. So I have monthly workshops. So we have a whole bunch of ladies that just meet up at this really nice Moroccan lounge. It's great. And we just have a couple of cocktails. We say leave all your stresses at the door and come in, and there's no judgment. So you can open up, share with anything, about anything with everybody in the room, and everyone's really supportive. And we talk about a certain topic. So we've talked about how to create vision boards or how to find your mission or your purpose in life. And, you know, we do some visualization as well. So there's a lot of different things that we touch on. But the main purpose of that is just to help women just get away from, you know, the busyness of life and just take a few minutes just to find out who you really are and really connect with yourself again. And my main aim is that when you walk out of that place, you feel refreshed. Your cup is filled a little bit more, and you can just go back and tackle whatever's out there again.
Well, that's great. Thank you so much, Divya, for coming in. If you'd like to find out any more information about Awaken the Inner Goddess and Divya, go to our website and follow the links.